Hey guys, welcome back to another week of trading where this week I actually learned a lot. From my reads on narrative being a lot cleaner to building good habits with patience and discipline, this was actually a week that I really needed and it felt long overdue, but by the end of the week I was feeling back better than ever. So yeah, let's just jump straight into the trades. This was honestly the setup that I needed. Alright boys, so we're starting off the week here. I still am a little sick, so I apologize for my voice. Coming into the charts, I am leaning a lot more bearish. We were within the premium of the range and are rebalancing into the support level here. So I mainly wanted to see how price displaces away from here coming into open. But we did low-key get a short move pretty quickly as we displaced lower just before market open to take out some of the trolls I was looking at. All good though. I just remained patient and waited, where at market open we dumped even more. I did think about entering here, but I just couldn't pull the trigger. The trade just felt a bit risky to me just at market open, so I didn't end up taking it. And waiting a little while longer, we did get this fat pop higher where I was low-key thinking about entering longs here, targeting the highs as we did already tap the new week opening gap. But to be honest, this kind of fall process didn't really make sense to me. The price action was just not speaking to me, to be honest. And I did notice that we formed an SMT, and with price stalling and getting displacement lower, I did end up deciding to take this setup. And this trade immediately started dumping lower. Honestly, this reaction from price was exactly what I wanted to see. We did start stalling a bit, but sellers stepped back in and we quickly had our TP for a cleaned up to start off the week. And I'm really happy and honestly impressed with how well I managed today's trade. I did hesitate with the first trade, I would deny that, but I also think that that trade wasn't the clean trade that I should have been going for. And the second opportunity, I knew things were in my favor, and as soon as that confirmation was given, I just took it. And that's exactly what I need to keep on doing. Just keep staying patient, keep waiting for the right opportunities, and keep following my rules. But yeah, not a bad way to start off the week. Alright Sigmas, I'm gonna go back and do a bit of a reflection on Tuesday and Wednesday because I did end up trading it. I was still pretty sick and I still am now. I do actually have COVID, which kind of sucks. So apologize if my voice is still cooked, but yeah, you can see I already did some marking out because I was just doing a bit of just an overall gauge of what I missed out on. And there were some things that I did miss out on Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday was a low probability because of FOMC. So because of that, I was going to avoid it. And for Tuesday was just alright. It would have been decent probability, but yeah, I was actually really cooked that day. So just figured it'd be better not to. Coming into Tuesday, we're just overall very bearish. And then coming into pre-market, we're just accumulating up here. And we had a SMT, a bearish SMT, and then a clean draw on liquidity to the sell side. And then coming into pre-market, we just had a fat drop lower. So it's like fat drop lower. And then we had a rebalance into this order block over here, and also this inverse fair value gap over here. We had a really clean tap and really good formation where there was a fat wick, and because of that we could just enter here and then target the drawn liquidity to the sell side. So yeah, this was it's a good example of like a higher probability market where price just immediately runs in our favor. So yeah, that was pretty much Tuesday's trade. There's not really much else to say about it. It was just clean momentum, played with the trend, and SMT. Alright, and then for Wednesday a bit less probability, so I would have avoided this day regardless, but we had this bit of a chop coming into market open, but we did end up manipulating lower after this accumulation. Then we distributed higher, and then we actually took out this drawn liquidity, and then from here it's like, how would you know which drawn liquidity we needed to be careful of? And I would just say wait for the reaction from it, because you can see that we got a really weak formation here, and then from that we could just wait to see how price forms, because then we displaced lower. And to be honest, like if you saw this momentum coming through, you could probably just take the short there over here and then just target like I don't know, like a 1-to-1. It would have worked out in the end, or you can target this internal low. But yeah, to be fair, I would have found that valid and I would have taken it. There was a bit of a rebalance later on where there was accumulation after tapping into this order block, and then we had a push higher tapping the sell side imbalance or the bearish fair value gap, and then we wicked it. Really clean formation just like yesterday. Not as clean, so it's like lower probability, but it's still like a really clean formation nonetheless. And we had clean displacement lower down, and from there we could just enter into the trade targeting the internal low. This was just the first plausible internal low target that I was going for, because if I went for this, then it would have been negative risk to reward, which I don't like going for. So yeah, I would have gone for this internal low down here. But yeah guys, overall, like these 2 days have been pretty solid, I can't lie, so it kind of sucks that I missed out on it, but it's all good. I think recovering my health was a lot more important, and yeah, we'll just tackle Thursday as best as we can. today was another great example of why discipline gets you closer to your goals. Alrighty boys, we're back for Thursday, and like I said, I'm just going to do my best to analyze the markets and see if we can find anything valid. Alright, so my thoughts on the charts is that we are still trending lower. We're within the premium of the recent range right now, so I do want to see how price takes out a recent high or low, then I'll decide how I take my trade. And we were just continuing higher into market open as price started stalling, and from here price just chopped about for a while. I was maintaining a pretty good focus at this time, so just waiting for the right move, and as price swooped the lows and displaced higher, this was the entry that I was looking for, and once enough displacement had came in, I entered trade, and this trade immediately started chopping. We chopped and we chopped and we chopped some more, edging my ass so many times. But after a little while, price was like, huh? And just skyrocketed it to hit my TP for a clean dub. And with today, I'm happy with the setup that I took. I think the entry into the chop was a little unfortunate, but all the triggers that I was looking for were there. And the volume was backing up the move too. It was just another really clean day that couldn't have been done without the patience to wait for the right move. And also to hold through all that bloody chop. Alright boys, last day of the week. So my final goal for this week was just to take something clean if the narrative provided it for me. So coming into the charts, I'm a little lost, to be honest. We did have a push higher throughout the entire day, and we are just chopping around right now. I did see that we took out internal lows, so perhaps we could find a push higher, but I low-key just want to wait to see what happens on market open. And coming into market open, there was actually a pretty clean setup for me to take. Aligning for the long from price taking out the low earlier, I saw we actually formed higher during market open with an SMT, and from that I could have actually entered targeting the high. I did hesitate on this one, but it's alright. We ended up displacing lower after a bit where the volume was honestly really strong, and this could have been another entry for me, but I did hesitate on this yet again. I wanted to see a pullback occur, which didn't really come to my liking, so I ended up just avoiding it. And later, as price just continued lower, it just felt like a really overextended move to take, so because of that, I did decide to just call it a day. And it low-key sucks that I missed out on some clean setups. The first one was a bit quick, I can't lie, but the second one was clean. We had a sweep of liquidity, and then we got a clean inverse lower, which was exactly what we needed to see. There was also an SMT of doom, so yeah, everything just lined up really well except for my confidence. But yeah, it's all good. Still in a great spot for this week, so yeah, I'll reflect on it over the weekend, and we'll for sure be back even better next week. Alright boys, that closes off this week's trades. This really was a week that I needed, even if it may not seem like it. Of course the stats from this week aren't too bad, but the mental lessons were really the key factor to why I was able to perform so well. I thought about why don't I just stick to my rules, you know, and execute confidently at the start of the week, and that ended up panning out really well. Like, it kind of sucks that I miss out on a few opportunities midway through the week, but I reckon that it was just a necessary part of my journey too. Like I mentioned before, not trading is also a part of trading, and I think that a little break actually helped me claim the dub on Thursday. But yeah, I just think mentally getting over the hurdle of not thinking I'm capable of doing these things well just helped me out insanely. Like, you never really realize how much of an effect it really has until that switch is flipped. But yeah guys, that's where I'm going to leave off this week. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video, then please feel free to show some love down below. It really means a lot and helps the channel grow. Alright, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.